Real quick, before we start this podcast episode, I just want to say thank you for tuning into the Marc Colcer podcast. I know you've got a million things that you could be doing right now, and the fact that you're taking time out of your day to watch this podcast episode truly means the world to me, and I just want to say thank you for that. If you'd like to continue to support the podcast, right below this video, if you could hit the subscribe button, and then, hey, if you got some more time and you want to hit the download button, the comment button, the like button, the share button, any of those buttons, it's greatly, greatly appreciated. It helps for other people to find out about the podcast, and it helps for you to be notified about future episodes. So if you guys could take a quick second, hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. Outside of that, this episode and every other episode is brought to you guys by Roast Umber Coffee. As some of you guys know, I co-founded Roast Umber Coffee, and we have the greatest farmers in Guatemala and Honduras and the greatest roaster in Grand Rapids, Michigan, all to bring you guys the greatest cup of coffee possible. So if you'd like to try it out, go to our website, use the coupon code MARC30, and you're going to get 30% off your coffee. Now on to the episode. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Welcome to the Marc Colcer podcast. Well, first off, dude, I appreciate you coming out here today. How did NFT LA treat you?
It was amazing. We had a great time in LA, to be honest with you. I like LA personally. I like the city. I like the people. I feel it different from Miami. People here in LA, it's like more receptive when you're like networking and, meeting them. And like, I feel in Miami, people is more close. It's like if they don't really know who you are, they're not going to go near to talk to you or anything. Like in LA, I see people is way more open. But yeah, we had a great time. We connected with a lot of people. We met a lot of people. And I feel that the mission why we come to NFT LA, it was accomplished.
There we go. Yeah, no, it's always cool to have a bunch of people out here that are from all over the world, and we get to know each other and find out what they're doing. And so, you and I just started chatting this morning and having this conversation about getting you on here. And so, but for people who don't know who you are, can you give a brief intro to yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Sam. I'm the CEO of alphaproclub. So we actually a company based in Miami. So we customize and protect, like paint protection stuff, exotic cars. So we go, we do grabs to change the color of the car. We paint brake calipers, the wheels, paint protection film, which is a film to protect the paint of the car. And Miami, it's full of exotic cars. So we have a pretty nice clientele. We are always busy. We're always packed. And we have a really good taste for the cars. So for people in LA, we're kind of like the RDB LA in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. We body kits and carbon fiber and wraps, that crazy stuff, and that same line of cars. And we also have Alpha Exotic Rentals, which is an exotic car rental company. So we rent exotic cars mostly to tourists, but we also have a percentage of, let's say, you go to the shop and we're doing a grab to your car and we need the car for 5 days. So you need another car. So we have a lot of like luxury cars as well, like every single model of Mercedes-Benz, S-Class, G-Class, GLEs. And, people get those cars while we're working on their car. We're kind of like the only one in Miami that have that type of service. So yeah, that's pretty much what we were. We were in the car industry, and the exotic car industry. And now we took this journey to go, our business from Web 2 to Web 3. So we are kind of like expanding our market, because now we are not anymore based on Miami in some fashion, because now we have cars, access to cars in LA. We have partnerships with restaurants, with nightclubs. Like ever since we start working on the NFT, it's a membership. It's 2,222 collection. So it's that's why it's called alphaproclub, because it's kind of like a club, right? So people get access to kind of like everything that we have in Web 2 and all, our business, in a sense, starting with the discounts for customizing the cars. Just to give you an example, we have customers that they might spend $100,000 a year with us because they bought 3 cars during that year and they customized it. They did aftermarket wheels on the car, they tuned it, they did downpipes, etc. So at 25% of $100,000 is $25,000 that he's pocketing in the right away. And we have many customers like this, because our niche and our target customer it's a high income customer. Most of them have more than 2 cars. So for example, for that customer, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because the paint protection film is a must. Like every single car that you buy, you should do this. So it's an expense that they're already, calculating that they're gonna make. And also that like there is a car culture, right? That people love to customize their car and put it onto their own taste. So there is people that no matter what they're gonna do something to the car. So in that part we have discounts. With that we have a 25% discount for the shop services, and we have a 35% discount on the rentals. I have customers that they go 3 or 4 times a year to Miami, and they rent a Cullinan or they rent a Lamborghini Urus, and their rent per day is $1,300. So at 35% discount, you're gonna be paying 700 something, $800. So a $500 discount, 3 days, that's $1,500 that you're saving in one of the trips that you're making, and you're making this 3 or 4 times a year. So there is a lot of value, and that's why like we're putting a lot of like effort and resources into this project, because we see the value and we see that it makes a lot of sense to hold this membership. So
Well, let me cut you off real quick,
Yeah.
and we'll. So from there, before all of this, right?
Mhm.
How did you get into the NFT space? So obviously you're doing what you're doing in Miami. Miami's high luxury and everything like that, and it's the culture there is a lot of the nightlife and everything like that, the exotic cars and things like that. So how did you end up getting into the NFT space from there?
So I'm not a I would say like a super crypto religious, but I'm super open and super supportive of the crypto. Like, uh, I've been always investing in crypto, in the bull market, in the bear market. I also lost money. So I'll be always supportive. It's not like it's my day to day, but I trust and I understand that we're gonna evolve there eventually. I'm almost your same age, so we grew up in an environment that it's more receptive to this type of things. Like I grew up playing as a kid, so I see cryptos and I see something like I don't know, like V-Bucks, and you kind of understand the mentality behind it. It's a coin, it's virtual, yeah, but like it's the value that you put it, which is kind of like the same with fiat. There is no value in fiat money. It's the value that we put it and the trust that we have in the government or whatever money they spend on military a year or whatever. So that when I understand that yeah, crypto it makes way more sense. I've been doing business for 8 years, so since I'm like 19 years old, I've been like all the time, hustling and doing business. So doing transactions, right? I was doing retail before, so I was like buying stuff from China and bringing it here. And so once you understand how the commerce moves and how the money transactions happen, and you see something like crypto, you're like, damn, this makes a lot of sense. Way more than a bank or a wire transfer or etc. So I trust and I know that we're moving there. And even though we're not a tech company or we're not nothing near there, how I see it is that when the websites came, there were businesses like, I don't need a website. Why I'm gonna open a website? I don't need a website. We're good how we are. Bam, bam, bam. We are seers. I don't know. And look at seers now. So I feel like businesses that doesn't adapt and they don't innovate. In any industry, it could be I don't know the lamp industry. Whatever industry that you are, if you don't innovate, I think you're gonna be left behind. So in my case, I think we took a big bet. Like it's in a car industry company, because right now I'm investing and I'm putting most of my resources into something way different than the actual shop, because another thing that I see going to the NFT space and going to a Web3 space is that the room that I have to grow, it's way bigger of anything that I can make on Web2, like whatever I can make locally in Miami, I don't know how many people is in Miami, 4 or 5 million people, I don't know. I don't know how many tourists goes to Miami, 20 million tourists a year, I don't know. But that's it, like it's 25 million people, that's it. That's my market. I cannot go out than there. But with the Web3 project or with Web3 technologies, or at least to have, kind of like in mind that the business that you're making, it's going around that, ecosystem or platform, then I can have a 300 million, 300 million market of people, 300 million people market, because it's all USA, for example. And then if you go worldwide, you can have a way bigger market. So that's why, we took the decision of going to Web3, because most of the stuff that we're doing now, it's to get out of that local market that we have been doing business for the last 5 years, and then expand our brand, outside of that area. And then now we're in LA. We're going also to New York with Mario. We were chatting a little before, and we're going to Dubai. So we're going to have cars in Dubai as well. Yesterday we were chatting. He's talking about Singapore, Qatar. We have some boats in Greece, because, what I'm trying to do and what we're trying to build is, I know this niche, this group of people that it's a lifestyle, right? They go to Miami for a Basel, but they also go to Saint Tropez. They also go to Monaco. They also come to LA Fashion Week. I don't know, they go to New York. So I want to have presence in those cities, and I want to build those experiences around, that ecosystem to my holders. So what I'm trying to do is, broker and working these deals in real life, because this is, again, it's a virtual NFT. My holder might be, I don't know, in Vienna, but I'm here in LA, going face to face, and networking a deal in real life with a company for a benefit for him, not necessarily for me. What I'm trying to do is that it doesn't affect me, that it's sustainable. So it's a discount that I'm redirecting people, to X business. So it's a win-win situation. I'm not asking them to spend money with me, or I'm not asking, like, I'm pretty much like, I'm like, look, I'm brokering customers for you, so that had opened a lot of doors. So I closed, for example, a partnership with Vendome in South Beach. Our holders get inside the club for free without making any line. Saturday night, this club is like this, bro, like this. So like, if you show your NFT and you get inside of the club, it's small perk, but it's cool to have, and it's an add-on for the holders. We're doing the same with another club. I want to get one of the main clubs in Miami. I've been trying to negotiate with them. We're trying to see, what are we going to structure. Same with Nobu in LA and Miami. We had Mr. Nobu like 2-3 weeks ago. I gave him a Cullinan and a Lamborghini Urus, and he had like an event at the Nobu Hotel in South Beach. So he pulled up in the Cullinan, and they make like a video, and he invited us to the event. Super cool guy. And we explain what we're doing, and people, I'm happy because every time I tell the story, I see people is receptive. It's receptive to the idea. They like it. They're like, oh, this is cool. So yeah, that's pretty much like why we are doing that merge. I think, like, I can have a super nice business like this in Miami, or I can have a business like this, globally.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, it's actually it's an interesting conversation I've been having with people over the last few months. Is like the membership system in the U.S. is kind of broken, or in the world in general. And what I mean by that is, like, if we see it every January as a new year starts, people go and get a gym membership, right? And some of these gym memberships are real expensive, right?
Yes,
Like you look at like Equinox and LA Fitness, and some of these, or not LA Fitness, what's the
Equinox, yeah.
Yeah, any of the
In
big
Miami,
gyms, right?
Anatomy.
Yeah.
It's like $300 a month.
Yeah, any of the big gyms, they're $300-$400 a month, right? And so when you break that down over the course of a year, you're talking, I mean, damn near $4,000-$5,000, right? And so for some people, shit happens during the course of the year. Maybe they're not able to make it to the gym as much. Maybe they move from that area. There's so many different reasons why somebody may not be able to afford to, or may stop going to that gym, right? And yet you have this membership that you paid for. And now you're just stuck with it, and there's nothing you can do with it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's literally been something I've been talking about with people recently, that like a membership makes so much sense to be an NFT, because if it's something where, let's say somebody's going to Miami all the time, and let's say it's one of your clients that's already been working with you for years, and they know, okay, hey, if I get this membership, I'm able to basically save money on this. That makes a ton of sense. But then let's say maybe money gets a little tight, and they're not able to come to Miami as often. They're able to sell it, right?
Yep.
And so I think that like whole membership idea just makes a lot of sense. And so with that, have you guys talked to a lot of your clients that you already have been working with for a long period of time, and like, what are their thoughts on this? Is this something that like do you have to educate people on this when it comes to all of this? Because I know the NFT space is still very new to a lot of people.
Yes. So that actually have been a super exciting journey. So people is super, as well receptive, but what I see, and it's a good point. The more resistance, it's on my older customers, like older in age, you know,
Yeah.
they don't have a wallet. That as soon as I say the word, they're like, oh, you know, like, and you know, I try to understand. I have a good relationship with my customers. You know, so like I'm able to actually explain it. Like, look, I understand that, you know, probably you have this idea that this is how, you know, what it is or whatever, but you know, what we're using is the technology. You know, like it's not the image what I'm selling to you. It's not the card, because our NFT is gonna be a card. So people is okay, but why do I want the card? And I like, look, it's not the card, it's the membership. I was like, look at Costco. You know, you go to Costco, you buy a membership, they give you a card. And I like, this is a virtual card, and it's not the card that you're buying, it's the benefits that you're buying behind. I was like, yes, there is some projects that you're actually buying the art, and it like same as you buy, you know, an art from a famous artist or whatever. Is in that sense, it's kind of the same principle. But you know, still I see, you know, that they don't really understand. Like when I say the word blockchain, they don't really know what I'm talking about. So I came to the conclusion that I just told you, that you know, eventually everything is gonna fall in that place and people is gonna have to adapt. It's a matter of generations. You know, it's right now, you know, pretty much the control, you know, like our generation is not in control. You know, like we don't really have a vote on whatever is happening in the world, because you know, older generations does. And I see they are not you know, receptive to the idea, because they didn't grow up with this. You know, they are not as you know, welcome to the computer as you and me,
Yeah.
I mean, might be. And everything, you know, your grandma is like, hey, can you connect me the HDMI and the TV, you know, and you're like, grandma, just, you know,
Yeah.
that type of stuff. So I see that that might be like kind of like the block that I have with those type of customers, which I have a lot, because I have a lot of rich customers, you know.
Yeah.
So like I have 3 billionaires as a customers that I talk to them in a like I can FaceTime them, hey, you know, like I have good relationship with them. And then most of my customers are business owners. They have car collections. I have a customer have 83 cars, and he have 14 hospitals, like private hospitals or whatever. Um, for example, that customer, I know that he wouldn't buy it. You know, he wouldn't buy it because he won't understand. Like he won't go and open the wallet and etc. etc. But you know, that's okay. You know, that's okay, because I'm I'm looking to the future. I'm looking to future generations. So I'm looking for people like you know, like people like Frank, you know, from like people that, you know, right now we are creating our future. You know, we are the generation that is creating the future. Like we are creating the place where we're gonna live. I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a mixed feeling, you know, like what is how it's gonna be. But at the end of the day, you know, we're creating, you know, our future reality. So that's my bet. It's in there, you know. I know, you know, this generation is gonna be way more open to the idea. And anyways, we already onboard 70 customers that they already paid, and they already we did a pre-sale private for customers, of course, you know, like because we can already have holders, you know,
Yeah.
for the last 4 years, like customers that we don't. We already make 11 cars for him. Of course, we're giving him a discount. Of course, we're treating him different, you know, because it's already a 3-year relationship. So this is what we're trying to replicate through Web3. You know, these same relationships that we already have, that we know that we're good with these relationships. We know that we give benefits, and we take care of our customers. We want to do the same thing with our holders. So yeah, we already on board 75, and we actually 70 or 75, because I think Riot sold like 3 more. But we actually stop it for a little bit because we're working a lot on the back end. I'm investing a lot of money in tech, you know, like on the actual structure of the project. So for example, we're working on a map. It's kind of like our roadmap. So our roadmap is gonna be, for example, there is Miami. My bad. There is Miami, right? So kind of like a GTA vibe, right? So then you have the Miami map, but then you also have LA, New York, and then now we have Dubai. So everything merged into one map, and then there is nothing in the city, you know, like only the streets and everything. The only thing that you actually see popping out is the partnerships that I have. I have partnerships with private planes, so companies, so people can charter private planes, 15% discount. We have discounts on bulletproof cars. We have discounts on private security. We have discounts on Nobu. We have discounts with Cookies, the brand. We are, you know, working with them and figuring out how we want to deal with that. I have a location in Fontainebleau. We're closing this week with Fontainebleau Aviation. It's the private airport in Miami. So we're gonna have a booth inside where our holders and also regular customers, pro holder can book it, way cheaper price. So pretty much is this concept that wherever we go, we have access to the cars, you have access to the clubs, you have access to the nightlife, you have access to the restaurants. So for example, you're in Dubai, right? And then you go to the Alpha Pro Club map, and then you go to Dubai, and then you just zoom in, and you just see all these places. It's like, oh, you have a discount here, you have, I don't know, free entrance in this place, you have a discount in this hotel, you can get a massage in here, you can jump parachute, whatever. So that's kind of like the ecosystem that we're building, and all those experiences, for our customers. And we're also doing a lot of content around them. So every single partnership that we're doing, I'm investing, the money on going, shooting content with them, showcasing the business. So that's why we are also not partnering with everyone, like we have at least, we want to maintain that line, and that target customer and that target client that we have, the things that they're used to and the level that they're used to, not, something like $250,000 a day chat, but, that kind of level. So that's what we're working, and it's going great. It's going great. We haven't even minted, and we have partnerships like that. We did a partnership as well inside of the Web3 community. So we did a collab with a kid called Bees and the Killer Bears that Rad was showing you. Really good collections. Rafi, actually the CEO of the kid called Bees, is gonna be in Miami, and we're gonna be picking him up in the airport. So we're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna show him Miami a little bit, show him Miami. So that's the other reason why we came to LA. Like we actually want to connect with the community. We are not a PFP. We are not the gods. We are not, the apes. We are not the bears, the kids. We are a membership that all of them can have. It's like the black card of American Express. We actually, it is a black card. So, everyone could have a black card, but not everyone has it, but if they actually go for it and work on it, they can get it, right? So it's kind of like the same, like everyone can get, access to all the stuff that we offer. We're offering a lot of utility and a lot of value. So people is actually proud and keep the membership, because they use it multiple times a year for different stuff, different events, and different, stuff that actually we're also going to be, building and doing around, the whole project. So since, we're not really a PFP, we want to connect with the community. We want to, show them that it's not that we just show up and then, like let's say Nike or something like that wants to get into the space. Most of their campaign is just throwing crazy amounts of money and just overpaying advertisement. And, it looks too much as a big tech. We want to go more on the route that, we actually here to bring value to the community. We're actually here to bring something positive for those holders that they know, who like as soon as they hear the project, they're like, oh, this is something that, I can use. I go to Miami 5 times a year, or I go to between New York, LA and Miami, I do that triangle 4 times a year, for different events. So, and I always get a car, or I get a hotel, or I go to eat, or I go to club, etc., etc. So the NFT is going to be 1 ETH, but the amount of value and amount of money you're saving, or the amount of experiences you're going to be enjoying, it's worth way more than 1 ETH,
So when you're looking for your target customer, who is like, because obviously I think when people think of the majority of like NFT projects right now, we're still on like the tip of the iceberg of like what possible NFT projects are going to be down the road, right? Correct. So the majority of what we see right now are a lot of PFP projects where people they're buying them and they're basically hoping for a quick flip and things like that. Some people get into those because they really like the art. Some get into it from a community sense. Some are because it's a free mint. There's a lot of different reasons why people join an NFT project, right? Yeah. For you guys, what is your like ideal customer base? Like, who do you think is going to be the type of person who's going to be buying into Alpha Pro Club?
So it's good that you mentioned this, because we're targeting actually 3 different. We have 3 different targets inside the ecosystem. So we have first the people that is gonna buy it, for their discounts and for the rewards and the benefits of having it and holding it, and people that travel around, the holders that for example, you have Miami NFT Week, you have LA NFT Week, you have New York City NFT Week. So for example, those same people that is traveling from place to place. We rented a Lamborghini Huracan, for example, to a Twitter space host Titan this NFT week. The guy was like having a blast with it. So kind of like that target holder as well. Like we are we want like Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, people.
Somebody with more disposable income is
Correct,
what you're
correct,
saying.
yeah, correct. D-Gods, like, and I already have these customers. I already have Bored Apes as a customers. I already have a couple of CryptoPunks that right now the last 3 months I've been like day and night on this space. So I'm like now I feel way like like I see everything way different than 3 months ago. Like I see how connected they are, especially here in LA. Like I see how like so we did a small party. We got a mansion in the hills, so we did party two different days. So it was kind of like the after party. So like there were all these little events on in the city, and then we had like different group chats into it, and we're like, hey, like whenever everything is done, come here. Like we're doing like we were over there like until 5:30 in the morning, and it was super cool because a lot of Bored Apes show up. I met super cool persons and people at the party, CryptoPunks as well. So I was okay. This is cool because this is like the main reason why we came is it's to connect with these people and show those people what we're about. What we could bring to them, and again that type of holders that they're gonna buy it to hold it and use it as the benefits, but we also carrying to people that want to use it as a business, people that actually want to make money out of it, and not necessarily by flipping it. So we're doing an arbitrage system, right? That discounts that we're doing on the rentals, so that's why I told you that we're investing on the tech. So behind on the website, we're gonna have it's called the garage. So it's kind of for holders. So over there, we're gonna have, for example, a website creator with different templates for like rental car companies, with like booking already, like a shopping cart, so people can book and pay through there right away. We're putting the ad copy, so people can copy and paste this ad and run campaigns on Instagram and Facebook or Google SEO or whatever. They put a logo on the website, and then we have all the content in the world of these cars. We have we put a lot of resources into content, a lot. So we have all the content in the world of these cars. So they pretty much get a website with their logo, the white label or cars, and if they're paying, $780 a day for the euros and they're renting 1,200, they're making $400 a day for their rental. That's $1,600. They didn't even own the car, they don't have to, run with the maintenance, the tires, the oil change. In a Lamborghini Euros, those type of stuff add up. Like the tires are $4,000. So they get access, and they pretty much have an exotic car fleet, by buying and being a holder of the NFT. So they can actually make money with it. They don't necessarily even have to put a team to drop off the cars, because we're also handling that. They send us the request, we verify the insurance of the customer, we verify that everything is good, and then I send a guy, black t-shirt with a contract, drop off the car, sign here, the guy pay, and I pay the broker, broker or partner in this sense. Kind of broker, because they will have kind of like their image and their company using our cars. So we're wholesalers, and even if people, they don't even have to leave their home, for this. Like they could be in LA renting a car in Miami, or they could be in Arizona renting a car in New York and making money, because they're really good at advertising and they put the content, and they have a sale, they're making the sales. I don't know. It depends on the person, like I'm putting the tools, I'm putting all the resources, and like, look here, make money, go and hustle. If they don't want to go with the cars, we're also doing a product line. So we're doing our line of products for car care. So like, for example, if you want to do the interior, like clean the leather, you use this product. If you want to clean the paint, because it's full of dust, you use this one. If you want to clean the Alcantara, because you have a Lamborghini and the roof is all Alcantara, you use this one. So we're going to do kind of like a kit, for car care. And then we're also giving an arbitrage opportunity to sell this retail. So we kind of sell it to them wholesale, 30% discount, which 30% is the markup which most companies make, as a profit. Because it would be straight profit, because I'm paying for the advertisement. I'm paying, they might put some money in ads in Amazon, but what I'm giving them is they could sell it in Amazon, they could sell it on eBay, they could sell it on Etsy. They can go to their corners out of store and broker a deal, be like, hey, I'm going to supply you these products on a weekly basis, and they're making 30% out of there, So there is going to be holders that are going to be using it to actually enjoy the experiences and spend money. There are going to be holders that are going to be using it to actually make money, which that one makes me really excited, because I think that can actually help the business to go to a different level. Because one of the most interesting things that I see from the other NFTs communities is that the moment that you are doing, and as a founder and as a business owners, I think it must be like one of the most exciting moments of when you're doing a project is the moment that you start getting content from your own holders,
Oh yeah,
you
user-generated content's key.
that's like the best,
Yeah.
like for example us right now, like you don't know how many time and energy and resources we're putting on creating content all the time. We fly with 2 videographers to LA. They shoot like the first 3 days completely, like everything that we're doing. So we're blogging everything. We're doing the same in Miami. Like we're creating content all the time. So, the fact that you can have your own holders sending you stuff, to even grow more the brand. I think that because right now, for example, when we started, we were a team of 5 people, with the NFT. When we started the NFT, like it was Riot, my partner, me. So we have host as a CMO. Now we're 28, so of course, like when you are 5, even if you're working 17 hours a day, you can get this much of stuff done because you're only 5 people. If you are 28 people, how many hours, and each is putting 8 hours a day, for example, how many hours of work are you getting done, So if you have a community of 1,000 people and you have, I don't know, 200 people working on this, how many hours of actual work it's being put into this collection or this project. So I think this is like a whole new concept of doing business, like it didn't exist before. Like before, if you wanted to grow, like no one is going to come and help, I don't know, Bank of America 20 years ago to, grow the business and come up with ideas and connections, because not even the content, right? Like one of your holders can hit you up, hey, I meet this guy in this place, and like he's interested in doing this, and I'm gonna connect you guys, and he make the connection for you. You were probably in LA, the guy was in Europe, and now boom, something great happened out of that connection. So that's why that's my way of answering you why we're going to Web3, why we are so invested into this, and even though that we are in a point that I still have my Web2 businesses going. Like this weekend, I didn't have one car available for rent. Like all the cars were rented. The shop is full of cars. So I have a lot of business going on Web2 as well. So the fact that we are just at this point just so focused on Alpha Pro Club, and even though we have all the other stuff going on, for me it kind of makes me reinforce and be more sure that what we're doing it's the right thing, and that we're gonna hit it big. Like how people react and how we are being able to connect and get with the community. We have like 9-10 board apes in the party that we did over here. I'm not even from LA, so like, and I have a month and a half, 2 months on this space. It's not like I've been in Twitter spaces for the last 2 years, etc., etc. And the reason that I think that it's going this way is because, and no to talk bullshit on any other project, but most of the projects on the space, it's promising stuff, for the future, but they haven't done anything now. So it's different to think about it and to actually go ahead and do it. So the fact that it's like in our case, it's not that we are like, oh guys, we're gonna do this NFT collection, and then after we mint, then we're getting the cars, and then we're getting the shop, and then we're hiring the people to make the jobs or whatever. So we need some development time or whatever. Like I'm investing on the tech before minting. Like all of the garage that I just told you, like the template for the website, like the template for like creating the websites for the rentals. I'm already investing in the product line, like not on the actual merchandise, but on the product research, on the image, on like which are gonna be the products. Like I'm doing all of this pre-mint. I'm not waiting to mint and then start creating a business. I already have a business, and I'm doing a mint to just explode the business to another level. I was we did a podcast with some more apes in Miami, the Web3 experience. So super cool podcast as well. I was telling them, that And we were talking about so we were talking about a lot of things that about that in the like the NFT space and how other communities mostly they're focusing on giving like virtual benefits and staking and this and that, and then we're gonna do this airdrop and we're gonna do that, but they don't have that. Like I feel people might sometimes they don't like to hear about it and they go away, but when they hear the word business and that there is a business, that there's kind of like a stigma against that, because probably I don't know, they say like, oh, they just want to make money or this or that. It's not necessarily about making money. It's how I see it's mostly about being sustainable. Like you could have this crazy idea and super cool project and super cool art, but if it's not sustainable, if it doesn't make sense, if you cannot stay 1 year in business because your expenses are gonna eat you out, and then you cannot continue doing business, it's not a good project, because you're gonna have 1 year of FOMO and the community, but then all the development and all the things that you need to be paying on a regular basis to keep everything going on, it's not gonna work. So that I feel people just need to be creative, creative enough in think as a business, like, okay, this is an actual business, so I need to see how I'm gonna structure it so it's sustainable. And not even about making money. I was listening to a Twitter space like 2 hours ago from Rafi, from a kid called Biz, and they were asking me, like, oh, how much money have you made already, from the collection or whatever. And he was saying, like, look, actually $0. Like, I haven't taken any money out of it, and I don't plan to do it in the future either. Like he's fully invested. Some people might say it's bullshit. In my case, I totally believe this guy. Why? Because I think the same. I see rock pullers, right? Rock pullers, which is like a main subject in the community. Like ever since I get into the NFT space, I see like in every space, like people is talking about they got rock pulled one time and this and that. In my personal opinion, I feel rock pullers are stupid as fuck, right? Why? Because, bro, how many projects, right, have gone sold out in a matter of freaking minutes or hours, right? And there is so much freaking potential in the project that if they actually, let's say the project make $3 million, I don't know, $2 million. If they actually invest these $2 million and, they actually do something with that community that already created, that movement that already created, like the money that they will make in the future, it will be so much more, like look at, I don't know, Yuga Labs or stuff like that, like how much money they're making because, let's say they will do a rock pull in the beginning. That's it. Like it will be dead, but they continue working into these things. And same with the other companies. They continue working and they grow into something way bigger that eventually is going to make you more money. So, like people, they want to eat today to starve tomorrow, So I want to take this 2 million now to blow it. And then once I'm out of the 2 million, people don't trust me anymore. Whatever I say or I will do is fucked up because I already lost my chance, So I feel that it's just stupid to get to that point because, again, the possibilities of growing in this space are huge, bro, huge.
Yeah. And I think I think for a lot of it is like not every project makes sense for everybody, right? Like that's the reality of it. And so I think for some people, like they look at some projects and they're like, well, that's just not one I'd be interested in. And it's like that's fine. Like
Yes,
I at the end of the day, like not every project is going to make sense for every person, right? And so from what I'm hearing for you guys, it's like, yeah, it makes sense for somebody who's either traveling a lot and has a high expensive lifestyle. They kind of they're more of an affluent lifestyle and things like that. And they're looking to save money on some of these different things, or looking to receive certain benefits when they travel certain places and things like that. Or somebody who's looking to essentially like white label some of the services that you guys are doing, and therefore like start their own business essentially, but you guys are fulfilling the back end of that. And then, and it's just like at the end of the day, it's like it's the expression like different strokes for different folks. Like it's if something makes sense for one person, it might not make sense for somebody else.
Correct. And also the networking,
Yeah.
like how I see it's also the networking. We're planning to do a lot of events. That's why like this Saturday, we're making a party for Miami Music Week. So we partnered up with a gallery in Wynwood. It's called Hodler. It's like NFT gallery. This is another one of us, like he's visionary. He took the risk of opening a gallery now, in a bear market, and how everything is going now, but like the business model and the business vision that he has, I was like, look, you might struggle a little bit at least this year or for the first year and a half of the business. But once you go through those 2 years, your business is just gonna boom. It's gonna boom because again, people will have to adapt. But anyway, we're doing an event in his gallery. We're bringing Seth Troxler and Paulsa, two huge DJs. We actually not allowed to. Anyway, this is gonna be recorded, but you're gonna put it later. But we're not even allowed to put it on a flyer because they have. It's a private event. They didn't let us sell the tickets or sell anything because it's Miami Music Week. So all the major big DJs of the world are in Miami this weekend. So it makes sense, like if you're a DJ and you go to a club and then you have another party, in another club, people is either gonna go here or there. But if you are in only one place, people is only gonna go to that place. So they don't wanna share DJs, between other clubs. So once they book it, they sign a contract that they cannot do in another club. So you have to be a private event. So we're not even able to put it publicly that we're doing this event, and we already sold out. Like without the flyer leaked. Like Miami party, it's a world, So the designer sent us the flyer. I sent it to a friend. This friend sent it to a group, and then it just go everywhere. The manager of one of the DJs reach out, hey, you need to shut down the freaking flyer, blah blah blah. So yeah, we sold out. So we wanna the reason we're doing the event, we also wanna show people, the events, it's gonna be a crazy party, a lot of special guests and special people is going, famous and not influencers. I don't like to use that word, but yeah, influential people in social media, they're showing up tomorrow. So we're super excited for that. So that again, that's kind of like the ecosystem we're building. Yes, it might not be for everyone. Some people might hear even paying $800 a day for a Lamborghini Urus, it just doesn't make any sense. Who will pay that? But there is people that they do, and they pay more. There is people that they pay $1,900 for a Cullinan per day, and they get it for 7 days. There is a market like this in the world. It might not be the biggest one, but that's why we're a small collection as well. We're not launching a 10,000 collection because that wouldn't make any sense. We want to stay exclusive, and so that way when we do throw these events and do all these different activities, we can actually take care of everyone. Because it's not 10,000 people that we're taking care. We're actually also doing a burning mechanism. So we are going to have a diamond tier, which the discounts on that and the benefits are going to be way bigger, but they need to burn 10 NFTs. So it has to be someone with a disposable income. Probably the guy have $4 million car collection, so he wouldn't mind to go ahead and burn 10 NFTs that it's 10 ETH, but now they have the diamond card. So we're doing, we're still deciding to see how many diamond we're going to allow for people to burn, because we want to put a cap. So that way we also take some NFTs out of, so they burn those. It's less supply, but more quality holders. Because we same as Rafi, I'm not doing this project to make money for myself. I already have my business that I sell cars, I rent cars, I customize cars, I even sell watches. I'm a businessman, and at the same time I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm not doing the business, and I'm doing the NFT to fill up my pockets. I'm doing the NFT to fund the business. For me to raise $3 million through a bank, it's for a business like mine, which it might be, even though since day one I never wanted to build a small business. I wanted to build a brand. In the face of a bank, for the bank, I'm a small business. So they're not gonna go and hand me $3 million or $4 million just like that, without a huge paperwork and interest rate, this, that, taxes, etc. And especially an idea like this, because you understand what I'm trying to do. People in the Web3 understands what I'm trying to do, but a bank is not going to understand it. So for all these ideas that we have, the product line, we're also investing a lot in YouTube because we want to entertain people as well. We want to create that community, that people see what we're doing whenever we do an event. Let's say you couldn't make it, but 200-300 more people from the community make it. You want to see, what happened, how did it go. So we're literally showing everything. We're showing literally everything that we're doing, because we have a fun schedule, like every day it's something new, especially in Miami, like there is something always going, um, and especially in the industry that we are, it moves really quick. So yeah, that's what we're doing
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
that makes sense. So okay, so I have one more question for you. So for people who like, let's say somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, well, I need to make sure this dude's legit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can they look into for your past business or your current business and things
Yeah.
like that? Can you tell me a little bit more about what they should look into?
Yeah, well, actually, so like I mentioned to you, I've been doing business since I'm a teenager. So actually, I opened up my first business when I was 19. So the little booth in the mall.
Yeah.
So I was, my best friend come from Venezuela, and then he started working in the mall for another guy, and I was doing an e-commerce at that time. So I started like with $200, and in that time you could get shoutouts on Instagram for free just by sending the product. So I started like sending the product to like all these influencers that they didn't charge me any money, but every time that they put a picture, I make like $800 in sales. Which I'm 18 years old. I'm like, this is amazing. Like I'm from my house. I also had like two jobs. Like I was like I had the jobs to fund the business. So like the money that I make in working, I put it in the business with my friend. Then I took the money that I make from there, and then we with my best friend we opened a kiosk in the mall. So we were selling virtual reality glasses. Everything was great for like 3 months. I was selling this for $120 because I was paying $7,500 in rent a month. And again, when I did this business, when I signed the contract, my dad is like, I'm not gonna help you or anything. Like you are the one that is deciding to open this. So if something goes wrong, it's on you. And like I'm 19, I'm reckless, and like I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna do it, bam, bam, bam. So I go and I sign the contract. Um, I opened the first location. Then I was selling this for 120. Amazon and Walmart started selling it for $20. Bruh, the next 6 months of my life, it was just survival. Like I was literally surviving. Like it was really bad. I owe money to the mall, etc., etc. I was able to change the concept. So I started selling drones, right? And then, bro, after that, it was just like game mode. I opened 22 locations in 3 years. I literally opened all Miami. The moment I open and close, but the moment that I have more locations open, I had 18 locations and I have 72 employees, and I'm 23 years old. And I'm selling toys, I'm selling drones. I have like 5 or 6 different malls in all Miami. So I have like I got an office. So I had like 2 cargo vans, one to drop merchandise to the north, one to drop merchandise to the south. I had like a whole logistics on the business. And I was young, I was learning. So that business was the one that actually helped me understand and learn about actually making business, and like the basics of business. But it was not something that I feel proud, on doing it. I was 23, bro. I was making like $500,000 in revenue a month, and Christmas is like 1.4 million dollar in a month, and I'm freaking 23. Like I have employees that are older than me. I have employees that they used to be dentists, and now they're working in the mall with me, and they are supporting all their family with me. So like mentally in that time, I was like, damn, like it was crazy, for me in that time, but I didn't feel proud, because it was a retail business. It was not something that I feel like, like I'm innovating or I'm doing something, that it's gonna grow globally or whatever. And literally, I took it to the point that I couldn't grow that business anymore. Like I had 18 locations, and the next step for me was to open a store. But then Amazon and e-commerce was just it's killing the retail industry.
Yeah.
So I got a buyer for the business. I opened up the warehouse, and then Jaime's, my partners from Alpha Pro, they were my neighbors. Like they were next to me, on the warehouse next to me. So that's how I met them. So we start like hanging out, and then I start giving them ideas. They're like, hey guys, you know what? You should do this. You should do that. Like when you guys don't start doing advertisement. But so they come to me one day, like Christmas was about to come, and Christmas is like the best payday in the retail industry because everyone shops in Christmas. So like on November they come and they're like, hey bro, you know what? Like we want to grow Alpha. Like I see the business and I'm like, damn, I see what we're doing today. Not necessarily the NFT because the NFT didn't exist in that time, but like what we're doing with the rentals and what we're doing with, like, I'm selling, like last week I sold a Lamborghini Urus, a Sprinter, a G63, and a Huracan STO. Like in that time I will never think that I will be able to sell these type of things. But I saw the future on the business, so I said to them, I was like, look, this business have a lot of future, not only because of the industry you are, but the people that you meet, which is the same principle for the Alpha Pro Club NFT. It's also the people you meet, in this circle, because it's people that they're either lawyers with a $200 million net worth, or they own a tech company, or they own an insurance company, or they own a hotel chain, or or they are a crypto, NFT freaking, they have $20 million in NFT. I don't know. This is like the type of clients that we have and the type of holders that we're trying to get. So that's what I saw back in that time. Like, hey, like the future that this company has it's amazing. And literally, bro, like I go from making 500 grand a month in sales. So I was making like 35-40% of that in profit. And the guys is like, bro, if you want to invest with us, like we're looking for an investor and we would love to do business with you. And I was like, you know what? Like I love the business. I think it's something that I can actually grow, and I can do the next 12 years of my life, 15 years of my life, or 20 years of my life, I can dedicate it to this business. Because I was 23, I was like, I need something long term. It cannot be something that I'm gonna be doing for the next year and then figure out. I didn't want to do that because I already grew my business to a point that I needed to keep growing and not going backwards. And that's actually what I did. Like the last month I was in the mall, it was Christmas. I made $1.4 million in sales. And then the first month that I go to Alpha Pro, which is January, I make $8,000. I make $8,000 in revenue. So I'm like, mentally, I'm like, wow, fuck, like I'm starting all over. And like I hustle, like I left my best years, like from 20 years to 23 years old. My best years, I left to working in the mall, like my best, the age that people is partying or they're going out with their friends, etc., etc. I was always working, always. Like out of 2 years, I only took half a day off, and it was my birthday. And then besides that, every single day, except for December 25th, I was opening and closing the freaking business. Like every day, bro. Like I don't have like Monday to Sunday, every day. So yeah, I go, and then once I go to Alpha, I try to manage both businesses for like a month and a half, 2 months, and I was just going crazy. It was too much. I was too young, so I couldn't take the amount of stress and load that I have on top of me. I was paying 70 grand a month on rent. I was paying 30 grand a week on payroll. I was buying $150,000 a month on merchandise. $120,000 a month on merchandise. And I feel the weight of like, okay, I have 70 people that their life depend on me because they work. If I fucked up, it's all of us fucking up.
Yeah.
So I couldn't take it, and then I got the buyer of the business, and I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm selling it and I'm installing all over again. And then, bro, ever since that day, I just go fully invested into Alpha. I funded it from my pocket, So that's how invested I am into this. Like I didn't got an investor. I didn't got someone. I didn't got a bank that gave me the money, and I went like I financed it with my money of my 3 years of work. What I had. At the end, I put it into Alpha, and it was the best decision I could ever make in my life. Look, I'm now here in LA, sitting with you, doing a podcast, talking about NFTs, and I throw a party in the hills with people from LA. We have a Maybach truck and a G63 chilling downstairs, and that's the cars that we were using when we were here in LA. So, our lives changed a lot, thanks to Alpha. And now it changed a lot thanks to NFTs.
So, okay, so for somebody, if somebody wants to rent a car right now,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, because the mint is coming up in a few weeks here,
Mm-hmm.
but if somebody's like, hey, I'm in Miami next weekend for everything going on in Miami right now, I want to rent a car. How do they rent a car through you guys right now?
Right now, they can actually just reach out to any, like we have the Web2 methods now.
Yeah.
So we have the phone number right in the Instagram. We have our website. People can put a request from there. They can even send us a text message. Or through the website, even at DM, it's alphaexoticrentals.com, and then for the shop is alphaprodetail.com. Also on Instagram, that people can check. If they go to Alpha Pro Detail on Instagram, in our bio, you're gonna see the Instagram for the rentals as well. We have everything, bro. Like we have Rolls Royces, we have Lamborghini Urus, Huracan Aventador, we have McLaren 720S, we have 570, we have 600 LT, Mercedes-Benz, we have every single model, we have Porsche 911 Cayenne, like any car, even if I don't have it, I found it, you know, because, you know, Miami Music Week right now, I'm already sold out, but if you reach me out, right, if you reach out to me, oh, bro, I need a Euros for Saturday, I find the Euros, you know, and I'm still able to give you that discount if you're a holder, even if it's not my car, I'm still able to get you that price as this is my car. Because again, I'm interested in the value that we're giving and not necessarily about making money. We're making and building a brand.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so one last thing. Mint details, when it's for 1 ETH, it's 2,222 collection,
Correct,
right?
correct.
And then what day is it minting?
So right now we're planning for April 20th. And yes, correct. It's a 2,222 collection. The price is going to be 1 ETH. And then we're going to have the diamond tier, which is going to be, you know, when you burn 10 different NFTs, you get the diamond tier, and the benefits and discounts are way crazier. It's like 75%. Like you almost,
There we go.
So, you know, it's kind of like this thought that it's our cars. It's you know, the club have access to this club because we are part from the club. If we go to Dubai, they treat us good here because we're part of the club. So that's the whole game that we're building.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And for people who want to reach out to you directly, how do they reach out to you?
They can reach me on my Twitter. It's at Samuel Alvarez with 2 E's. I have a kid as a fee. And then if not, they can also, this is the same on Instagram. And send me a DM. I'm always on my phone, all the time on my phone. Always, you know, figuring out shit. So yeah, and I'm trying to, you know, answer and reply and, you know, engage with as many people as I can.
There we go. There we go, man. Well, hey, I'll make sure those all those links are in the bio or description of this video too. But hey, man, I appreciate you taking the time to come out here. Bro. I know you're a busy man. You got a flight right after this, so I appreciate you taking the time. And I'm sure we'll run it back at some point soon. But yeah, dude, appreciate you coming on today, and appreciate everybody watching. And yeah, man, good luck with the mint. I know it's a fun time ahead of you. Yeah. So big month ahead of you. But yeah, dude, and enjoy Miami Music Week. And yeah, good luck on everything. And we'll chat with everybody soon.
Thank you, bro, and thank you for having me. Thank you, you know, for the invite. I had an amazing time, and let me know when you're in Miami.
Oh, I definitely will be hitting you up.
Make sure that you have a good time, bro.
There we go, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
All right, dude. Enjoy. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll chat with you guys soon.
Thank you, guys.